It is nasty in here. Gotcha. Lick in there. Backing it up. There we go. Yeah, these guys are tough. They are pretty tough. They take a lot of licks. I mean, they have some pretty good gear. That looks bad. All right. Is this the well that is sealed off? Could be. What the? Alright. This must be... Yeah, we're not going to be able to bash that open. So... This is the area they were talking about, the water being poisoned and people dying and all of that stuff. Water breathing. Ugly mace. Alright, well, let's... see what else we can see here. Before we do that, however... Still liking the unrelenting force here. That seems to be working well. If it ain't broke and all that. Looks like the Legion came in here in force looking for something. Alright, where are ya? Nothing. Supplies and garbage. From the other side. All right. All right, I'll bite. Who's next? All right. Left or right? Dead end makes it easy. Trying to be cautious, and I'm trying to avoid walking into some traps. May have struggled with a couple of the fights here, but we haven't walked into any traps yet. Knock on wood. Alright, we got somebody a little bit higher level here. Take that shot. All right. Fancy necklace. All right, what do we got down here? Oh. Must be one of them stealth Draugr. Right back at you, bud. How do you like that? Couple good shots for you. Oh, yeah, that's right. You see that? Oh, man. Got you on the ropes there. Messing you up. There we go. Nicely done, Sag. Very impressed with that exchange. Less impressed with some of the earlier exchanges, but... Alright. Quite a few Death Lords down here. Alright. This looks like it's just all kinds of nasty. What am I in for here? Gotcha. I didn't even see what happened there. But I didn't take any damage, so... Ah, jeez. Ah, there's a problem. I got you. Here. Let's back you into your rune. Come on. You go. You go. There you go. Oh, man. We got splash damage. Are you kidding me? What a treat. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Now, what do we got for magic resistance? The cape we have on. All right. Which means we just need to switch to the appropriate shield. And let's confirm that we have our mask. No. Well, no wonder. We didn't have our mask. Well, that was just dumb. Beat him down. Beat him down. There we go. End it quickly. Before his friends come. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of loot. Wow. How far this mage made it down here. All right, now. Let's get our shield up. Carefully through here, just in case. Taking that guy out because I don't want him popping up behind me. That would just suck. Who is it now? Must be this way, huh? Oh yeah, there you are. Hello. All right. Sounded like he might have triggered a trap. All right. Yeah, we took a little damage, but that's okay. That's fine. You must die. For crying out loud. Am I flanked again, or what? Where's this shit coming from? Ah. Gotcha. Damn. Jeez. That got messy in a real hurry. I'd say this trap worked more for me than it did against me, but oh. Oh, these are those big hulking guys, man. Flanked. Jeez. All right, come on. Ooh. Hulking Draugr. Wow. It's like chopping down a tree. Better take a moment here. All right, you bastards. Man, this is more traps than I've seen in a place in quite a long time. Oh! Oh man, this is going to be ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. All right, one down. Come on. Keep that shield up. Keep that shield up. Wait for my shot. There we go. Take it. Okay. Sometimes I just have to be patient. And it is not easy to do. Scourge Lord. What's up with these hulking bastards? Jeez, I wasn't sure I was going to survive that, to be honest. I know that I have done this dungeon crawl before, but for the life of me, I can't remember too many of the details, so it feels really fresh at the moment. Ah, well key. Excellent. That's what we needed. Come on, I hear you. Where are you? Stamina potions I'll take all day long. Are you up there? I bet you are. Nothing in there. Dungeons like this give you a real sense for how horrifying the dragon cult must have been in their heyday, right? They must have been... I mean, you know, the lore talks about how they were, you know, domineering, how they were kind of bloodthirsty taskmasters. Pretty nasty stuff. All right. Who's on me here? Oh, man. How did they get behind me? Where'd he go? Where are you? He go down? We shall leave none alive. No way. No Draugrs left standing. Alive. Yeah. Standing. No Draugrs standing. That is my policy. Where did he go? Especially one of these hulking bruisers. Where did he go? Where is he? This guy's wily, man. Ah. Holy Hannah, there's two of them. Wow, I don't know that I've ever seen Draugr behave like this. Like, oh, really wily like this? Did I take him out? That finish him off? We need to confirm the kill. There he is. Hulking Draugr. Alright, now we need to not get killed ourselves. Alright. Let's move. So we're going to open this door, and my guess is that that's going to dump us out somewhere pretty close to that well. And then you know what's coming, right? There's a dragon priest in here somewhere. Alright, now, remember this door. So we gotta go this way. Watching out for traps and such. Alright, here's the well. Alright. Oh, good grief. Alright, this seems like an awfully good place to quick save. Let's have a look. Alright, so how are we going to play this? First of all, lantern's not going to work. Cuirass is not going to work. We can wear a blacksmith apron. We could maybe swim in that. All right. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense to swim in a cape. Rings are okay. I think the gauntlets and boots are probably okay. The backpack we're kind of dragging along with us. So then the issue is we need a light source. Okay. And we need to confirm no water breathing? I thought I picked a couple of those up. Alrighty. Well, let's see what we can see. Alright, so far so good. Holy crap. God. This would be a horrible time to contract some kind of a nasty disease. Okay, this is nothing but a cesspit in here, so my guess is we still have more swimming to do, probably. Let's do this in the left hand. Oh yeah, here we go. Well, we did it. I think it's time to get our gear back on before we get ambushed somehow. So, put our cape back on, which of course is giving us some protection from magic. Put our hood back on, which is heavy armor. Some restoration buffs. Read note. Scorm and his dog shall never take us alive. Thorolod has foreseen the return of the dragons and has given instructions that we are to poison the well. Better that we should die than fall into the hands of those infidels. They have forgotten that the gods were once dragons and shall give us life again once they return. I love this dungeon. We really get a sense for who these dragon cultists were, how zealous they are, and what Sagramour is fighting for, more specifically, I guess. Whoa. I lucked out there. Work that trap to our favor. Fighting retreat, fighting retreat, fighting retreat. Fighting retreat. Alright, holy crap. I think we need a shout that's going to be a little bit more offensive. Whirlwind got us across the trap, but that's about it. Come on. Bring it in. None of that. This is ugly. Ugly. Okay. This place is a mess. I mean, it really does look like some kind of a terrible catastrophe happened here, or it was a particularly demented group of the dragon cult. All right. So we've made it into the refectory. Quick review here. See what we're up to. Unrelenting force. All right. Haven't done a lot of this elemental fury business. Could try that, I guess. Fair with that. Look at that, hacking away. Yeah. Like a blender. Oops. Ah. Nordic War Pick. Get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that Elemental Fury. It's pretty cool. None of that. There you go. All right, we better have a quick look around here, get our bearings. These murals are interesting. Must be depictions of the dragon priests. See their ceremonial daggers, one in each hand. I mean, if you really look, there's some interesting detail in here. Take Troll's Bane Heavy Gauntlets. Weight of 8. What's going to happen if I take those? I don't know that it's worth checking. I don't think I actually need them. Okay. Ah. Yeah. Come on down here. Look at all this business. So recently there's been some chatter going on in the comments. After my recap episode, people have been given a lot of thought to my selections in terms of schools of magic. I think primarily my inclination to exclude alteration. And so there are many, many advantages, obviously, to alteration. When I was thinking of including destruction, it was primarily for the idea of damage output, using a cloaking spell in conjunction with melee combat. However, I'm starting to wonder if maybe there isn't some merit to the idea of taking advantage of what the alteration tree has to offer. Here's the rub, right? With this character, especially when we're using something like elemental dragons, which, to be fair, is completely ridiculous difficulty, especially at master. So to be fair, that plays into this a little bit. But I took some steps over the last couple of days to do some research on this, and I'll kind of tell you the conclusions I've come to based on that. Okay. Sorry, I had to change up my headset a little bit there. I was having some trouble. So it's pretty clear to me that damage resistance is going to be super important. Damage resistance in terms of armor, in terms of magicka, and in terms of elemental damage resistance. I mean, the vast majority of the dragons we're going to encounter are going to have some kind of elemental damage aspect, whether it's fire, shock, or frost. So, that being the case, magic resistance has to be an absolute priority for us. On the ropes. So what I've been thinking is that after we get through Forelhost here, I'm going to do an exercise to respec the character and try to determine whether or not that's the case. So I'm going to use console commands, and I'm going to take away the perks that I have now and basically re-level the character as best I can, or reassign perks with the idea of using alteration magic as a way to... Oh, this is going to get ugly. So we're going to respec the character, focusing on magic resistance. Now, one of my recommendations for this character is definitely going to be that people who want to play this type of character use the Lord Stone, which gives us 25% magic resistance. So that's great. I'm also going to recommend that people who are going to play this build use something like... or do something like the Agent of Mara side quest, which gives us, another 15%. All right. The magic resistance caps at 85%. You can't. The maximum amount of magicka that you can block is 85%, and it's not too hard to get to 85%, even in vanilla, using a combination of different things, which would obviously include Agent of Mara and Lord Stone, which gets us to 25, what is that? 40. That gets us to 40% magicka resistance. Now, there's also... there are also items in the vanilla game that can help to get us the rest of the way there. Alteration, however, gives us an opportunity through 3 levels of magicka resistance in Alteration to get an additional 30% magicka resistance, which gets us up to that. It gets us up to 70. All right, and obviously, I mean, if you're playing a character that is a Breton, you get a whole bunch. I think it's an additional 50% magicka resistance. So this isn't an issue for you if you're playing a Breton. We're playing a Nord here. So I need to max out magic resistance. Now, the trick here is always figuring out what the perk spread is going to be. So do I take my 40% and then try to acquire the rest of my magicka resistance through perks? Or do I focus more heavily on something like enchanting and try to acquire gear or build my own gear that gets me the rest of the way there? There's a number of different ways a person could do this. So what I need to do is figure out what the right mix is, and I don't think I'm going to be able to figure out what the right mix is unless I respec the character with alteration in mind. Magicka resistance is just part of it. So the way that dragons do their damage is the first thing that happens is the incoming damage from a dragon's breath weapon is cut by your armor if it's physical damage, or by your magicka resistance if it's like a breath weapon or a spell or something like that. And then after magicka resistance is applied, magic resistance, I'm sorry, after that's applied, then any elemental protection that you have is applied after that. So when we're fighting a frost dragon, if we look at it currently, let's just do a review, right? Whitbane. So let's see. I've got Agent of Mara, 15% magic resistance. I've got the Midnight Cape, which I've enchanted myself, which is 10%. We've got 25% here, so that's 50% of any incoming magic, right? So when a dragon breathes at us, we're automatically cutting the damage in half. And then after that, we're applying any additional protections that we have for elementals. So because I'm a Nord, I'm automatically resistant to frost. So the 50% of damage that does make it through from a frost dragon is cut again by 50% because of my natural resistance as a Nord to frost damage. And here we've got these enchanted boots, resistance to fire. So any incoming damage from frost and from fire, we're very, very well protected between magic resistance and elemental resistance in these two items. This would explain why we take so much more damage when we're getting hit with shock spells, because while the damage is being reduced through our resistance to magic, if we don't have any kind of elemental protection against lightning, the damage is not being cut again the way it is with fire or frost. You see what I'm saying? So the research that I did is basically I watched 3 videos by Gopher, which came to, more than 4 hours of viewing, in which he went through every single dragon in the Elemental Dragons mod and staged test battles with them. And first of all, it was interesting to see what these different dragons could do, but it became very, very clear to me that this character needs to be very heavily focused on defense. So the armor, because it's our defensive protection, the enchantments on the armor have to be absolutely focused on defensive enchantment. So either resist magic, resist elements, or and then we rely on our smithing to basically upgrade the armor to protect us from physical attacks. I'm thinking that that's the way that we need to go. And if alteration gives us the option of increasing our magic resistance by up to 30%, that is a great thing for us, because I think what we want to do is we want to take full advantage of all the natural magic resistance that we can gain from perks, so that we're not wasting armor pieces with resist magic enchantments. We need to save our armor pieces for resisting elemental damage. We need to be able to put enchantments on all the pieces of our armor to resist shock, fire, and frost damage. And in my case, because of my natural resistance to frost, the emphasis will be on protection from things like fire and lightning primarily. Where did that come from? Oh, I see you. We'll deal with him later. We're not going to walk. Up. A shot from a spear. You know, I used to not be a believer in the blocking perk that slows time, but I am a huge believer now. I'm feeling like that is a perk that's essential for this character. That, you know, millisecond that it buys for you to either step out of the way or get a shot in or whatever, I think that's essential. So I hope I'm making sense on this, but I think what we need to do is basically we're just going to remove all the perks and we're going to respec the perks. It's time consuming because I don't know of an easier way to do it than to just use console commands to pull perks. I know that there are mods out there that you can do it with mods. I've done that before, but I need to just investigate that. If I can do that, I will, and just redistribute the perks. And we're going to investigate that as a possible option. Now, obviously, the other added thing that we can do is we can use our levels in the alteration tree and perks in the alteration tree to also enhance our ability to use those defense spells, which, you know, further boosts our ability to defend ourselves. So what that means, however, is that I need to be able to respec more than just perks. I really need to be able to respec how we've been spending points, and I need to take a look at whether or not we're putting enough into Magicka in order to be able to support the kind of defensive spell casting that we might want to do with Alteration. So, you know, here's the rub. I think where you typically have characters that start as a good idea and end up weak is when you... Is it working? Yeah, there we go. I think where you run into problems is when you focus on spreading those attribute points too thinly. And by that I mean I've always had much better luck with characters that are more focused. In other words, they either spend a lot on health, a lot on Magicka, or a lot on stamina, and they don't distribute points evenly across all three attributes. When you do that, you tend to be you tend to be spread too thin and have less survivability. So got that shot in. There we go. I thought it was too far away, but that was the one that counted. All right. So I've been thinking about that and trying to determine, you know, usually when I'm creating a build like this, I'm thinking what are the one, maybe two attributes I'm going to focus on, and then, you know, which is the one of the three that I can make up the difference through enchantments or gear or things like that. And I'm still kind of on the fence about that. I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, we've seen that Sagramour requires fairly deep wells of health and stamina. But in order for us to use alteration spells that are going to be worthwhile for defensive purposes, we need a deeper well of Magicka to draw on in order to even cast those. So, you know, these are all things that I have to consider. Get back. All right. Now, the good thing is because of our magicka, our frost resistance as a Nord, it means that we don't have to waste a lot of armor enchantments on frost resistance, which is really good for us. I mean, that's exactly where we want to be. It means that we can focus our elemental damage resistance on fire and lightning primarily. But we're just going to have to evaluate that, right? So it's clear to me that elemental and magicka damage resistance have to be the priority for this character no matter what, and we just have to rely on our smithing skill and our gear to protect us from the physical blows. That's just kind of the way it is, and we're going to be very, I think, reliant on enchanting. I would say most of the time in a vanilla type of build, people are trying to spec what is the best vanilla equipment for you to use when pursuing a certain character build so that you can avoid having to waste perks needlessly on things like enchanting. However, my approach to the build is different. I mean, I give equal weight to the appearance of a character and whether or not the appearance of that character fits the role play as I give to, whether or not I'm getting, the statistical or tactical advantages I need as well. So, I don't know. I'm still feeling as if enchantment and smithing are the skills here that we really need to pursue. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We're going to give it a shot. And the other thing that I've come to realize is that I think what we really need to do is we need to get ourselves into an encounter again with that Iron Dragon or some other dragon like that from Elemental Dragons. And we need to just, once we get into that battle, we need to dial the difficulty down. We need to dial the difficulty down so that we can actually have the experience in engaging in combat with the dragon for an extended period of time. That's the only way, I think, that we're going to get to understand what the creature's capabilities are and how we might defend against it. Fox, owl, and snake. So next time we have an encounter, that's what I intend to do. But I think the key right now is figuring out how do we respec, and then once we've respec'd, we need to craft some new gear based on that strategy and just see how it goes. The other thing that we need to be aware of also is that if we look, I mean, we're at this kind of, well, look at that. We just made it. We're at this transition point where we've just gone to level 40. And by going to level 40, it means we're going to get a whole new set or a whole new class of elemental dragons that we need to fight, which is scary. I think there's a good chance that when we leave this barrow, we are not going to be encountering that Iron Dragon anymore. We're going to be a step above that. So it's just going to get more difficult from here. All right. Let's quick save. And I'm going to focus on the game now because things are going to get ugly here. Okay, let's make sure we're geared up. Cape, Amulet of Talos. Okay. This is the ring that I created. One-handed attacks, 29% buff. Here's our resistance to fire. See, this is how I would respec right here. I would put some kind of an elemental protection spell on these gauntlets rather than speccing them for one-handed attacks. The Cuirass as well. I would not put health regeneration on this. More than likely, I would probably spec it for some kind of protection, either, well, elemental protection ideally in whatever area we're weakest in, but if we're relatively strong in most areas, the boots and gauntlets might be enough, and this would be an opportunity for us to do something like reinforce our health or our regen, or, you know, magicka regen, or just magicka depth, right? Magicka reserves, so that we could cast some of those higher level alteration spells. I don't know. So, all right. So ring. Now the Amulet of Talos is super nice and all, but at this point, I'm kind of thinking I might rather have poison resistance. No. Well, I don't really have anything else to choose from. It's either the Galder Amulet fragment for 30 points of additional health, or it's the Shout regen time. So I think we're going to stick with the Amulet of Talos, but what I am going to do is I'm going to switch from the Aegis of Champions shield to our Ebony shield for additional magic resistance, which I think will be helpful in fighting a dragon priest. Flank. Don't let him flank me. Got him. Okay. Let's get some distance. As best we can. Okay. All right. Now. Extreme healing. That's good. Extreme stamina. That's good. I followed my battle plan, focused on the mage. Now we got to just keep them from getting us surrounded. Keep them in a straight line. That's what we want. Keep them in a straight line. How defensible is this? All right, here we go. Shield up. Okay, we got one. Let's jump. All right. I'm sorry, sometimes when I get stressed out in the heat of the battle, I back away from the microphone. I push against the back of my chair, and it tips back. I'm practically totally reclined sometimes because I'm just kind of into it, you know? Now's the time for the potions. How do you like that? Come on. Got him. Okay, who's left? There's a couple more, right? There's got to be. Oh, look at them, man. They're wily. Why is he running? Okay, let's not question it. Let's just take a moment. Breathe. Staff of Vanquishment. Tribunal Mask. Mace of Heart. Absorb Stamina. We need that. Now that's another thing I've been thinking about. Sprayed on the ground, it creates a wall of fire that does 50 points of damage per second. This we need, this we need. I'll take the staff. Seems like a relic, something that would be important. All right. That was pretty good. Feel like I need a body count, though. There were 4 Hulks. There's one there. There's another one down here on the stairs. Okay. There's a third one. I feel like there's one missing. You can hear him. He didn't come out here. He's hiding out. Where did you go? I'm wondering why they ran away. If I did something that inspired fear, or if they're just, their AI is set up to make them be kind of wily and ambush you when you're not expecting it or something. I don't know. Ah, he gave himself away. There it was. Finally timed one of those bad boys. Holy cow, we did it. We did it. All right, let's have a quick look around here. That's interesting. Just a lone piece of armor sitting there. Staff of Vanquishment and Eminent Archery. Just aren't things that are very useful to us. Strider's boots. These are cool. These come from the immersive armors. They're not part of a particular armor collection. They're just a freestanding set of boots that you can put with various things. I've always found that kind of intriguing. Okay. We did it. Excellent. All right, so we know the plan. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to use Warmonger's Armory. We're going to go to a crafting station, and we're going to build a belt mount for the Regat mask that we just acquired, which will give us a deeper well of stamina than we have already, which will certainly be great when paired up with the lightning protection that we're getting from the other mask. What do we get? Storm Call. Ah. I don't believe that we have that, do we? Oh, we do. Excellent. Now we got 2 words of that.
The research I've done seems to indicate that Squorm Snowstrider left part of his journal here after laying siege. I believe it should indicate how to enter the blocked-off sections of the stronghold.
He's talking to an Imperial. He is talking to an Imperial.
Coral Host is quite haunted, but I'm sure you can handle it. Return to me here once you've obtained the mask.
Wait, it's haunted? I don't like ghosts. Let me think about this for a minute.
Well, shall we? Element of surprise. Kill the traitor.
Start! 'Cause, 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 'cause
I don't know if the other guy... The other guy was also an Imperial. But I'm going to let him go. This guy was trying to hoodwink him, too. All right. Let's see what his orders were, actually. You will proceed to the ruins of Foral Host to retrieve the mask from the dragon cult there. If you're discovered, impersonate an officer. It is unlikely that anyone from Skyrim will be clever enough to see through the disguise. Once you've obtained the mask, bring it to Labyrinthian. Who's he working for? Now we've got a reason to explore Labyrinthian as well. Let's look through his gear, see if there's anything useful. Septums are useful. All right. Well, thank you all very much. That's the end of this episode. I am off to Riften to regroup, respec, and we will see you next time.